I know we just went to Europe. We took almost a month off and took our kids to go celebrate my daughter graduating from high school. So that was one of my big life goals, is to go to Europe, take our family on a cruise. And we actually did it, before we turned 40. We make money, but we're still very frugal and mindful of the money that we spend and how we spend it. So there's a time and a place to be frugal, and then there's time to splurge and enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, what if I have this money? I have 50 grand right now. What should I do with it? Well, the first question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to be active or passive?
I just wish I was a trust fund baby. Seats are on sale, she says. Pocket.
We're not at the lay down seat status
yeah,
yet.
mean.
The $6,000 one way versus $300 one way.
No one pays for that. They just used all their points.
I know. I was just watching credit card hacking last night.
Sometimes I get lucky, right? When we fly.
I sent you yesterday the credit card hacking guy.
Lie down on the Hawaiian Airlines stuff.
One day someone's just gonna upgrade me, right?
Right. Yeah. It's gonna happen.
Ma'am.
Like a pay it forward, when you go through the drive-through and someone else pays for you.
Easy points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened when I, right after COVID was finished, I had 300,000 points on my cards. Then I took 11 of my family members. And coming back from Florida, we went to Disney World. Coming back from Florida, all of us had first class. Coming back from Florida to Hawaii.
11 family members.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
It covered all the costs, all the points. At that time, the COVID, nobody was really traveling. It was fun.
Yeah. That's nice.
I know we just went to Europe. We took almost a month off and took our kids to go celebrate my daughter graduating from high school. So that was one of my big life goals, is to go to Europe, take our family on a cruise. And we actually did it, before we turned 40. And so that was huge for us to realize that you set these goals and these expectations and you think, man, okay, when I retire or whenever I get the money, but you don't really think it's possible until you set a timeline for yourself. Or we make money, but we're still very frugal and mindful of the money that we spend and how we spend it. And so I did start credit card hacking and just figuring out, I just love finding a deal. I think that's what we're addicted to, is finding really good deals.
The deals now just comes our way, I think,
Well, after you get experience, you put yourself out there. But with the credit card thing, we ended up getting Alaska credit card, where you get the companion fare, $99 fare a year. And then now Southwest has the companion fare thing too. So I'm going to credit card hack that and Chase Sapphire. Message me for my link so I can get bonus points too. But it is a real thing. This last week it was my brother's 30th birthday, and he had called me and he was feeling, a little bit low because he's out in Colorado. He's not living here anymore. And, he's a stay-at-home dad right now, and he doesn't really have, too much people to open up to and talk to. And so I called my mom and my sister and I was like, hey, we need to go out and be there for my brother. And they were like, yeah, well, my sister just came back from another trip. So she's like, oh, I don't really have the money. And my mom was like, we can I'll try to finagle some things together. So I was like, you know what, let me check on my credit card and see how much points I have. So between me and my mom, who she signed up under my credit card link, she got a bonus point. So we ended up covering 3 round trips to Colorado last minute that were supposed to be almost $800 each. And then our rent-a-car that was supposed to be $400. And then we ended up paying to stay at Great Wolf Lodge. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but it's a place that's like a water park combined with a mini golf park combined with an arcade and rock climbing place. So we're able to splurge on where we stayed because we got everything else included with the credit card points. So I think no matter how much money I make, I'm always gonna be looking for deals.
How come you're frugal?
Right?
I think that's how people that have money have money.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they get money. Because they shop.
Save money.
Yeah, they shop. They're shoppers, right? They're always looking for how they can get on better price.
Good deal in real estate, good deal on credit cards.
So sales guys hate me because I go negotiate.
When I think too, when you realize how far your money can go when you spend it or invest it in the right things, then you're really mindful of like, okay, maybe I don't need this brand new Toyota Tacoma lifted truck that costs 60 grand. I can buy a car if I need one for like, 10 or 15,000 that might be used, and spend that other extra money on something that will actually make me money. And granted, a vehicle will make you money because maybe it gets you to and from work. Maybe you're an entrepreneur and it takes you from one job to another, or you use that vehicle maybe for marketing purposes too. Like there's so many different avenues, but just making sure that you're aware of the costs and also what you're getting back with that money. So there's a time and a place to be frugal, and then there's time to splurge and enjoy.
Yeah.
But as long as you maintain that balance, I think you'll always be kind of building wealth.
I think that's the coolest part of real estate too, which I think, well, that's why most of us get into it, is to have that freedom to say, hey, let's get on a plane, let's go to Colorado.
You're right. The whole thing about it is now we have the flexibility and freedom to do what we want when we want, even though a lot of times we're working, right? We're working seems like around the clock, but we're able to fit in like times like today where we're out filming, talking story, hanging out with cool people, and we're able to drop everything in an instance, basically take some work calls here and there, but we can navigate through that time instead of having a set schedule and having to be at one place the entire day.
Yeah, you're picking and choosing. You work for yourself. You can work as much as you want or as little as you want. And I think that's another hurdle that a lot of new people, they just want to be at that point already, but actually you have to work double time. You have to work your job, probably you need to like double up and learn a lot before you can be at the point where.
Right. When a lot of people want to skip, like you said, that just like period of sacrifice where like, remember in the beginning, man, I was working 60 to 70 hour weeks, and then I would on my lunch break be going to Lowe's to get materials for the contractors. After work, I would take work calls or call a lot of the subs back. On the weekends, I would be going to check on the actual projects. So there was times where I was working all the time and getting my husband on the same page, and him, having to navigate the household while I was working so much. We knew it was going to be for a shorter amount of time, and I had to give it my all during that time in order to get to this place. So I think, like you said, a lot of people want to skip that and be like, okay, then what do I do to get instant cash flow and instant profit, But it takes you going through the process, but figuring out what works for you. Like how I started was fixing and flipping, and then slowly buying rentals, and then going that route, partnering out of state. Whereas Fuzzy has a different story and started with fix and flips, but then went into new builds, and that you really honed in on that niche.
Yeah, like the new build was like, oh, this is what I want to do, because I knew the land was cheap. I knew that we could find builders that were cheaper priced in Puna. So I was like all about it. And instead of investing $1 million in Oahu for one house with $1 million, I was able to take the investors' money and build 4 houses, and they were happy. Still happy today to invest their money and still put money towards building new homes with my my team. So.
And that's okay if you want to start off by investing in other people's deals if you have like 50 grand, because a lot of questions we get, okay, what if I have this money, I have like 50 grand right now, what should I do with it? Well, the first question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to be active or passive? How much returns am I expecting to make on that money? And how much risk am I willing to take in order to try to get either one of those returns? So if you're active in it, you're finding the deals, you're finding the funding, you're managing the renovation or the contractors or the new builds, and you're doing a lot of the work yourself, versus if you're passive, you're investing in other people's deals, you're making a set return. It might not be as much profit as the active investor is making, but they're also taking on way more risk than the passive investor. So those are some things I wish I would have known about private lending or investing in multifamily when I first started, because I had a really good job. So potentially I could have just invested that money to start and not have taken all the risk. But
I just wish I was a trust fund baby.
we wish we would have started off with money, but that isn't the case.
I would have been freaking partying my ass off even more. I probably wouldn't be here.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's really what you focus, you know, your laser focus on, right? You whatever you put your attention into or your mind is thinking about usually happens, you know? And then also the people that you surround yourself with, you end up becoming like, because it's just how it happens, right? So you hang around with surfers, eventually you're gonna be a surfer. You hang around with, you know, people that are, you know, mechanics, you end up a mechanic. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see a lot of, you know, families like the father doing construction, the son follows suit. It's because the father want, you know, doing, you know, putting food on the table, and the kids, you know, even though it's something that they don't want to do, like they do it because they want to make their family happy, and a lot of times they don't do what makes them happy, just a sacrifice that they do just to make their family happy. So, like, I know, you know, my grandfather and my parents, they wanted me to, you know, go get a job, go work for this, you know, what, like, put it this way, go join the military. Yeah, go join them. So I joined the military. It wasn't for me, you know, just working all these different jobs. I worked every single job you can think of. I was one of those guys pumping gas for people, putting oil in the car. I was the cart boy, the bag boy, you know, at Safeway. You know, it was one of my jobs. I was a paper boy, you know, one of my first jobs as a kid riding a bike, you know. So, but all of those jobs never made me happy. One of the best jobs that made me happy was a tour guide and a surf instructor. That was one of my favorite jobs. But even then, I didn't like it. But like what we're doing now, where, you know, what I got into the real estate thing is like, to me it's fun, like, and it's rewarding because there's so much good about it. We're putting food on people's tables of all the people that's working for us, and two, we're housing people, whether we're renting it out to families through Section 8 or Hope Service, or just regular families that need housing, and then we're selling houses to families. So I feel more, you know. And then another thing we also do is coaching. As coaches, it's rewarding to see our students take the knowledge that we give to them. The ones that listen and take action, they're succeeding, you know.
And for the ones that might not have gotten their first deal, they're on their way. It's like
it doesn't happen overnight,
right? And it's a mindset shift that may take a while. You know, it's generations of being told something that now they're learning this new way and not as confident and still unsure because they haven't done it. But once they do, you know, do their first deal, that's why we're here to guide them through it. They're going to see the possibilities. And even if they just buy one house, like who could imagine, even for me when I first got started, the goal was buy a house for myself, like in Hawaii, like just to be able to do that. And then now I own multiple rental properties here, RV parks, like all these other commercial buildings. And I would have never thought that was ever possible if I just stayed in the lane that I was. And it was good. Like I got my bachelor's degree, I became an engineer, and I was my grandpa's pride and joy. And the day I told him I was going to quit, he was very upset with me. But he had seen in the end the benefits that came with it and the wealth, and not only that, the impact that I was able to make to help other families. He now seen, you know, the vision. And I think when you know that you're meant for more, you have more potential in life rather than just going day by day, you know, going through the routines, going through the motions. And that's great, you know, you're providing for your family, but there's so much more if you just educate yourself and then tap into what is inspiring to you or what you enjoy doing and figure out how to do more of that and make money.
And I think it really is networking and surrounding yourself, right? Mm-hmm. And most investors aren't 18 and those ones awesome, you know,
right,
but
yeah.
we all have done something before and we find our way here. What do you think is What are you looking for in a partner? I guess, you know, if someone's like, hey, I'm new, I don't want to do this on my own, I have this and this value. How could you trust someone that's just starting? What's the best way to partner actively with an experienced investor?
Yeah, for me in the beginning, you know, I partnered up with the coaches because in fact, when I offered to give my service or my free time to them, they said yes, right? So, oh yeah, well, we need your help. So, you know, they gave me lists of homes that I went out and door knocked. They gave me the scripts. I door knocked. I went out there with another gentleman who, you know, in the beginning, I was door knocking with him. So that's the guy that I called. And, you know, mainly giving more value to other people is a way to partner with someone if they got that knowledge that you want. So when I did that, I was able to surround myself with them, learn their language, learn how they talk to the people with the money. And, you know, before you know it, all the emails that was coming through, the contracts, I was able to see the way they talk to people, how they was securing those people's funds I just learned right there offhand. But I had an advantage because I grew up around construction. I knew a little bit about construction, not all, but I was surrounded with, you know, all the uncles and my grandfather. They were all into construction. So that was my asset that I could bring to the table. And then not only that, I wasn't scared to go out and door knock or to talk to people and, you know, ask them, hey, you know, your situation, you know, you either can do this, but if you don't do this, then you can lose your house. You know, you can lose your credit gonna be shot for 7 to 10 years. You know, you got to make that decision now, because if you don't, you're gonna end up in this situation. So that's how I was able to start my first partnerships in the real estate industry, and then eventually with the signs that I posted out that we buy houses cash, and then the Craigslist. Hey, if you're a contractor, realtor, a broker, or investor and wanted to get involved with real estate right here in Hawaii, listen up. Aloha, I'm Fuzzy.
And I'm Zasha.
And we both come from humble beginnings. We had $0 in our pocket. We both had jobs, working for somebody else's dream, taking us away from time with our ohana. If you're wondering how you can get to the next level, check this out.
It's called the Maui Real Estate Investing Summit, happening December 13th through 15th. It's first come, first serve, so don't miss another year to make more for generations to come.
Come join us and stop waiting on the sidelines, and let's see how we can help you get to the next level. This ad linked me to another developer who was looking for partners that had money, and that was his lack. His lack was he couldn't get the money, but he had the team to build from start to finish. That was his knowledge, that was his asset to the team. And then what I did was I took his business plan and showed it to the other students that was in the group that I was in. And the people that responded to that, I guess, you know, opportunity is still landing with me till this day, right?
Yeah, you never know where one person's going to take you.
Yeah.
And what opportunity
So,
is
like,
going to take
you know, you just got to get out there and, you know, have all my partnerships gone sweet? No. Like, there's been partnerships that I thought was going to be good. You know, up front they were good, but then, you know, going into the deals just went sour because one was communication, and I guess just their ethics or the way that they do business. Even the developer, his ethics and the way his style of doing business was not how I wanted to do business. So, you know, you end up just going your own direction. And, you know, I don't talk crap about other people because no need. We just keep moving forward.
So for me, how I typically partner with people is people will bring a deal, and if they can't find the funding or qualify for it on their own, then or even need help raising money, that's how I potentially partner with people. So they have to be in that market, they have to have found the deal, they have to have ran all the numbers, And then that's kind of where I come in to help cover the costs of the project, and then also to help with the experience side of it. So on the bigger projects that I've been partnered on, a lot of times they need that extra experience to showcase that, okay, even though I haven't done a project like this before, my partner has, and so this is why we should get this loan, or why other people should trust us with their own funds. Now I don't partner as much, and like Fuzzy had mentioned, like majority, I would say 80% of my partnerships have gone good, and I've partnered with over 30 something people now on different projects, but 20% of it did go left, and that was, like he said, just communication, expectations, and just when times got hard, that showed people's kind of true colors. And for me, I always believe in doing the right thing, no matter, you know, what the cost is. We'll eat it up, and then we'll figure out a different way to, you know, make that back. But you won't know that until you actually go through hard times, like any relationship.
Yeah, the true colors just show up after, you know, you get into business with the person, and the true colors just show up.
Yeah.
Like,
so no matter, like a lot of times I will sign a partnership agreement that will lay out who is doing what, so that I've learned over the years to be very clear on what the expectations are for each person. And then also, you know, what's going to happen if, say, we wanted to flip it and now we have to turn it into a long-term rental. Who's going to be in charge of like qualifying for that? Who's going to put their personal guarantee on that property? And who's going to be in charge of now these extra costs to have to refinance it? And then how are we each going to get paid back? So those are some of the conversations that need to be had. And initially, if someone says they're going to do something and then that ends up, you know, it's worst case scenario, and then they don't pull through, there's nothing you can really do but just take it on yourself and try to mitigate the risk as much as possible. No type of agreement is going to get your money back unless you go and sue that person. So you also got to take into consideration that is going to cost you money, and then in the end, are you really going to make out? So there have been some litigations that I've been a part of as far as me getting my money back from these people, or making sure that, because I'm mainly the capital person, I got to make sure that my people get their money back. And so whether that be me pay it out, or I have to go and pursue my partner legally, then it is what it is at the end of the day. But you know, I don't know if that's good partnership advice, but bad. But I mean, that's why you kind of try to do one project at a time with people. You don't like get into multiple at once, because I think that's where a lot of people steer left, is like you're already in one project with one person, and if that's going bad, you have all these other projects with them, then, you know, there's more risk to doing that.
Right. Yeah, now you know, you want to pick and choose your partners. I mean, I never thought I'd be partnering with you on, you know, as coaches, but it was just, you know, I reached out. That's how I reached out on social media. You messaged a word like invest, and then it shot me to somebody else. It's proud. This sucker. She, like, talk to the hand. So I just keep messaging and never got response. But I know that she probably was busy, and the reason why I wanted to reach out to her is because I was watching Zasha on social media during like the COVID situation, and she was talking my language on getting funding from other people for her projects. I was like, oh, hello, the social media thing is like, I was just like, man, I think I wanted to reach out to you because I wanted to do the same thing, right? Showcase what I was doing, so that more people would be like, wow, you're building houses at what type of prices? So when she did finally reach out, was true. I think I reached out to Tereva, which was another investor that I knew from another coaching program, and that was the connection right there. And then when Zasha reached out, we talked story. I asked her, hey, so what? How do you do your social media thing? She told me, well, you have your phone? I go, yeah, I get my phone. You just press record. That's it. Like, what? Oh, okay. But I ended up signing up with the program that she sent me to was I guess a referral thing to her coaching program. Ryan Pineda was the content creation program, right? Where I was able to learn how to create content. I started with my daughter. In fact, in the beginning, the videos sucked, but you know what? Eventually it worked. Like I recorded some videos and ended up, people started lending money to me. So it definitely worked. But what really, I guess, started our partnership was when we did the bus tour, yeah? We did the bus tour on the Big Island, and you're kind of like, holy crap, you do this? Like, yeah, I've been doing this for years. Like, you can buy land this price and then build the house for this price, and then it's streamlined, right? It's a system that I've been using over and over. And then when we shared it to other people and shared that experience, everybody was like, what the heck? And then, you know, it created more people to get involved with the real estate business. So that's kind of how our partnership started.
And now we're building 32 lots together. We bought the lots. They're all individually separated right now. And our goal is to build affordable housing on it. So we each have that same kind of mission. And I think when you find a partner, somebody who aligns with that, and you know, for us, we're already years in this. We're already, you know, successful, and we're making kind of enough money to keep our own wheelhouse going. Now it's like, okay, how can we still make a profit, but also like have a bigger impact on the community? Because we are in small ways by renting to people on Section 8, but how can we do on that on a bigger scale? And that's the same thing. Like I set all these visions and all these goals out there for like, okay, what's my, you know, like next year, what I want to accomplish, maybe in 5 years and 10 years. And so affordable housing has always been on my radar, but living on Maui, I know it's so difficult to get past the permitting process. So that's why we're starting. Once you reach out, hey, there's these 32 lots, do you want to go in it together and, you know, do affordable housing? I was like, yes, because I want to use that and have that as a base for like bringing it on, bringing it to Oahu and Maui and all the more expensive islands to see like, hey, we have this proof of concept. Now, how do we get that and do it on the more expensive islands as well? So,
and it is just being out there sharing what we're doing, and people that have properties will reach out. Like people are still like reaching out to, oh, I own this lot in HPP. Like we was just talking to, who was that, your friend or?
Yeah, so Tita, she is someone I knew from my high school sweetheart's family.
Oh, okay.
And so she was definitely, you know, just always curious about things, always nice to me ever since I was in high school. So I appreciate that. But she is like, hey, I got this piece of property with my husband. You know, it's just, I think with a lot of people too, it's like they're now able to reach out to us because we put ourselves out there on social media. They're able to see what we're doing and feel comfortable reaching out, because it's not very, not a lot of people can talk about finances with even their close friends or family. And so to have that kind of resource out there, I think more so drives me to continue to share my story and continue to put myself out there, even though it's uncomfortable at times, that, you know, it's having a bigger impact and people are able to say like, oh yeah, I can do this because they're doing it, you know. And I think, you know, for us, our partnership works well together because we're like brother, sister, and we kind of complement each other's skill sets. He's not good on the computer. He still uses an iPad to do a lot of the stuff, but it's good that he's open to using technology, because there's a lot of people that join our program that are, you know, like parents or their grandparents already, and they're like, I just seen you, I was scrolling on Facebook or, you know, scrolling on Instagram, and I know I want to learn this so that I can pass this down to, you know, the younger generations to show them it is possible and someone's doing it. So technology has been a little bit of a issue. I wouldn't say issue, but a little bit of a challenge with getting everybody on the same page. Because for me, I'm the marketing person and I'm always trying to connect with people. So I'm always online versus other people like barely, like they get on their cell phones and they know how to get on the internet there. But as far as using computers or like even owning printers anymore, people don't even print anything. So it's just interesting to see that the different backgrounds, but they're trying. And that's the number one thing that why we constantly reach out to people or like helping people, because we see that they're trying to do it and their reasons are really deep, a lot of them. But the fear is real whenever it comes to investing in a high price market like this. Like our medium home price is like $1.2 million over here. On Oahu, it's higher than that. So anybody who is buying a home, really their mortgage is $6,000-$7,000 if they're buying a new home or a home that's fixed up. So that's a lot to take on.
Yeah, it is. So, but yeah, partnership, right? Like, just sometimes you just gotta jump in, but you can kind of tell when you meet somebody, right? How they're gonna be, but you just never know. Sometimes people change, right? Money changes some people, not all, but
yeah. Well, and I think we have the same mentality that like we'd give the shirt off our back for someone, or we'd figure out how to make it work in order to make sure everything is pono or right.
Yeah.
Overall across the board, because it's our name on the line, it's our reputation, and we do take this seriously because we are the more experienced ones in a lot of cases, that we have to be set the right example.
The thing is, like, it's people's hard-earned money. When they lend the money to us for what we're doing, like, we gotta personally guarantee we can pay it back. Like, if not, then you're a crook. You know, it's like stealing people's money, right? And then what we do though is we do our homework. We're constantly educating ourselves to make sure that when we're looking at one deal, we're not just, oh yeah, that's a deal. We're looking into it. We're looking at the surrounding properties that are being sold, why they sold at that price, how long they took to sell, and then we just look at our costs, right, before we even purchase the property, and that's where we win a lot of times. And then where we also win is because we were able to purchase the property at a discount. That's when most people win, is when you can buy a brand new car at a deep discount. Same thing with land or a home. Prices are getting more and more expensive right here in Hawaii, so there's no better way to learn real estate through coaches that are active right here in Hawaii.
So come join us today. We're excited to have you start your journey and be there to support you.